Namaste, good morning, friends. We are starting with a new area of understanding today, assessment of charitable trust. Assessment of charitable trust. Well, definitely one question, be it now or me. Definitely there is one question from charitable trust. Always there is a question from charitable trust. And for my friends of May 21, we can even say that the question is going to be from administrative provisions because two new sections are introduced. When we do today, we are going to understand the income computation. In the next class, when we go for administrative provisions, we will definitely cover those two new sections where the amendment has come, so that you are very clear about that. That is the most probable questionable area for May 21, friends. Okay, but the discussion is going to be little wider. A lot of things needs to be covered. Okay, so we start with assessment of charitable trust. The first question to be answered is, what is charitable trust or charitable object? Okay, this is the first question which needs to be answered before understanding the chapter. According to section 2, subsection 15. According to section 2, subsection 15. Charitable activities. Charitable activities include charitable activities include relief for poor, educational facility, medical facility, preservation of environment, including watershed and wildlife, preservation of monuments of historic importance, preservation of monuments of historic importance. Okay, I leave a particular line for a purpose. Okay, object of general public utility. What is charitable activity? Which is what is charitable trust or charitable object? What is this? Relief for the poor, educational facility, medical facility, preservation of environment, forest, water bodies, wildlife, everything covered there. Preservation of monument of historic importance. Archaeological Survey of India takes over Tanjore Temple, Madurai Temple. Okay, preservation of monument of historic importance. I have left a particular line wantedly to make you understand, appreciate something. Okay, object of general public utility. Object of general public utility. Okay. any charitable trust falling under the category of object of general public utility, any charitable trust falling under the category of object of general public utility shall not carry on business or profession. In other words, their income cannot include fees. Their income cannot include fees or other business reserve. In charitable trust or organization falling under the last category. What is that? Object of general public utility shall not carry on business, is refrained, is prohibited to carry on business or profession. In other words, you cannot have receipts like fees or anything. Okay? Educational facility, you cannot impose such a restriction. Sorry. Okay. The educational facility, it cannot have such a restriction. You all know that their main income is fees only. Medical facility cannot have such a restriction. Cannot have such a restriction because their main income is patient receipt or fees only. So the law prohibits, okay, entities or charitable organizations falling under the last limb, that is object of general public utility, not to carry on any business or profession. In other words, their income cannot comprise of fees or other business receipt. Their income cannot comprise of fees or other business receipts. Now, let us take that there is a Shivananda Gurukulam or orphanage, old age homes, which are being run as a trust. So, in the orphanage, there are some children who do some paintings, etc. And those paintings are displayed and sold. In the old age home, some handicrafts are done by such old people, and that is also displayed and sold. So they appeal to the government that saying that you should not do business is little restrictive in nature, because we will also have very small, very meager business income. Okay, so came the next provision, however, which means the exception. Business income shall be to the extent of 20% of gross income. Okay. Now the law says you cannot have. From there, the law said, okay, I accept there is a possibility that you might also have some business income. So I impose a restriction that business income can be 20%, shall be to the extent of 20% of gross income. Okay, where business income is more than 20%, then the trust loses the benefit of claiming exemption. Okay, where the business income is more than 20%, my gross receipts comes to 1 crore. Of that, 20 lakhs can be business income. Suppose my business income is 30 lakhs, then the trust loses the benefit of claiming exemption. You cannot claim exemption under section 11. You cannot claim exemption under section 11 if your business income is more than 20%. Up to 20% I will allow, and if it is more than 20%, you cannot claim that exemption. Read through once. Okay. Subiksha, are you there, Subiksha?
Yes, sir.
Subiksha, relief for the poor. My income consisted of 70% business and 30% donation. Am I losing the benefit of exemption?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm losing the benefit of exemption. Okay, then I,
We, we will.
yeah, tell me, I'm listening.
I don't understand.
My charitable activities falls under the category of relief for poor.
Yeah.
When I prepare my P&L account, 70% of my income is business income and 30% of my business is donation. So the 30% of my gross receipt is donation. Okay. So will I lose the exemption for of section 11?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any other answer?
So that percentage is applicable only for general public.
Yeah, that is what I was worried whether I communicated correctly or not. Any charitable trust falling under the category of object of general public utility. Only trust which falls under this category will lose that exemption. Will lose that exemption. Okay? If charitable trust is not falling under, it is coming under all these things, then friends, I will not see the percentage at all. I will say that here the percentage even will be 100% will be business income. If there is no donation, everything is fees collected from students. Okay, here 100% will be business income. So this restriction is only for object of general public utility. This restriction is only for object of general public utility. Okay. So on the first five categories, six categories, no restriction on business income. It can be any quantum. Okay. In this category, okay, business income is restricted to 20% of gross receipts. Okay, only in this category it is restricted to 20%. On all other category, it can be 100% also. No issues. You will not be questioned. You will not have a problem. Am I clear to you? Am I clear to you, Subiksha?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, Subiksha, I still stay with you. I still stay with you. So let me tell you that there is an orphanage. Let us take Sivananda Gurukulam. Let us take some other orphanage. Okay, their income complete comprises of 40% business. Okay, and 60% other I mean donation. Are they losing the exemption?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are losing the exemption because it exceeds 20%. In all these cases, even if it is 100%, it is having a exemption. Okay, no restriction on business income. Whereas here, even if it is 21%, you lose the exemption. You lose the exemption. Okay, I'm taking this time to make you understand something very nice, very interesting. You will appreciate this. So, what happened is there is 5 categories. I have left a line blank there. So, there is going to be 6 categories. Okay, and object of general public utility with 20% restriction. Previously, if you are imparting education or if you are imparting training on yoga, it was falling under object of general public utility. It is exempt. It was falling under object of general public utility and it is exempt. But there is one yoga master who is carrying on business in a very big manner. His business income exceeds 20%. His business income exceeds 20% of gross receipts, but if it is in object of general public utility, there is a restriction that it should be 20%. Otherwise, you will lose the exemption. But if it is just yoga, no problem. You had the exemption going on. But if it is sale of products, which became very popular at that time, the exemption was getting lost. So the finance bill separated object of general public utility. From that they took out yoga and put it here. So it went into the first category now. And now if you read it, okay, now if you read the provisions, charitable activities means relief for poor, educational facility, medical facility, preservation of environment, preservation of monument, yoga, and object of general public utility. However, if you are falling under object of general public utility, your restriction is 20%. So yoga is taken out of the definition. Okay, yoga is taken out of the definition and put it separately. Interestingly, you will find it. It is exactly after the first finance bill presented by the present government. They got elected in 2014, and in 2015 you have this amendment. Okay, நல்லதா என்னன்னு நீங்க மனசுக்குள்ள யோசிச்சீங்க. Okay, whether you want to be called as a nationalist or not is up to you. Okay, but I found this very interesting, and they just added one line, and previously also it was available. They put it because there was one person for whom the business income was exceeding, and he was selling products like anything. Okay, so now you will remember this for life. Oh, now I know this. What is this 20%? Now you will never forget what is this 20%. This 20% is only for charitable organizations falling under the last limb, that is object of general public utility. Okay, so coming back, my dear friends, according to section, so I can in your mind divide it into two based upon nature of income they can earn. The first category of things does not have any restriction on the nature of income, which will consist of relief for poor, education, medical facility, preservation of environment, preservation of monument, yoga. And the other one is based upon restriction that their business income cannot exceed 20% of gross reserves. That is object of general public utility. That is it will fall under that particular category where the business income cannot exceed 20%. Where it exceeds, then the trust loses the benefit of exemption. Though later again I am going to tell this, but it is better to tell it at this level. You will understand it more clearly and it will be strongly nailed into your mind. Sir, suppose in the year 1920, my business income is more than 20% of my gross receipts. I'm falling under object of general public utility and my business income exceeds 20% of gross receipts. My exemption is lost once for all. No, the act has clarified. Okay, it is clarified that where business income exceeds 20% of gross receipts, exemption is lost only for that year in which it exceeds. Okay, don't think that it is permanently lost. Don't think that it is permanently lost. It is lost only for that year in which it has exceeded. Read through. only for that year the exemption. Though I am going to again tell you while doing the exemption provisions, but this is the place where you can get it very clearly, very clearly. So now you understand. Okay, again, my dear friends, though I am going to answer it separately, but in the question. Okay, for example, this question. Okay, I'm not asking you to write now, we will answer it separately. A charitable trust derives its income from the business of providing mineral water to various companies situated in software technological park. A sum of 30 lakhs has been derived as net income from business activity which has been applied for object of general public utility. Okay, examine the validity of the application of the income if the income so derived is for previous year. Will your answer be different if the trust runs a school in a backward area and applies the profit? Okay, so now we are going to see that is the whole trust is application derived driven. Okay, but just because you have applied for general, sir, I have got business income and I spent it for good activity, that is not the criteria. You are not supposed to earn business income if this 30 lakhs, if this, you are a trust which is falling under object of general public utility. If this 30 lakhs is more than, if this 30 lakhs is more than 20%, you are, irrespective of whether you used it for your charitable purpose or not, you are lost. If this 30 lakhs is less than 20%, then you have applied for charitable purpose, fine. Whereas, will your answer be different if the trust runs a school? Yes, my answer will be different because that 30 lakhs, that percentage does not matter. If it is education, the business income can be any component. You write the answer later, but I'm just telling you, okay, how it is important, how the general public utility and business income is going to play a key role in your understanding. Exemption for charitable trust is in two different sections. Section 1023C and section 11. There are two sections which govern the exemption, that is section 10 subsection 23C and section 11. There are two sections which trigger or which drive us towards exemption for charitable purposes, section 1023C and section 11. Okay, section 1023C. What organizations are going to be covered under section 10 subsection 23C? Educational institution and medical institution which are substantially funded by government. Educational institution and medical institutions which are substantially funded by government. You can write it as a note. I am writing it here because when you refer the Excel, it will be easy for you. You can write it under that note. Okay. Substantial funding means more than 50% of income should be by way of grant from government. You can understand the law has also clarified what is meant by substantial funding by government. In your income P&L account credit side, grant from government should be more than half of your total income. Then I will accept that it is substantially funded by the government. Educational institutions, okay, other than those mentioned above, okay, whose gross receipts does not exceed 100 lakhs. Small educational institutions also come under 1023C because I'm going to give more relief for them from the administrative framework. Okay, small educational institutions also come under 1023C. Similarly, medical institutions. Similarly, medical institutions. So, if your income is not going beyond 1 crore, I understand you are a small institution. I am not going to put you into a lot of technical framework. You can enjoy the exemption with lesser compliance. Okay. Other than this, everything falls under section 11. Okay. 1023C is for government supported institutions and small institutions. You can understand that as small institutions where the income is less than 1 crore. All other things are going to fall under section 11. Section 11, okay, let us go back to the fundamental. My intention, when I say my intention, the tax intention is to make you, to provide you relief. There is no two ways about it. I want to give you exemption because you are doing for a general cause. For the overall public upliftment, you are going to do something. So I also, income tax law also want to give that benefit of trust. But I need to provide lots of checkpoints. Okay. You are all knowledgeable enough. You are all knowledgeable enough to understand what is going on in the name of trust. The only thing we don't have in this organization is also the same word trust. What is happening in the name of trust is something which is very painful. It's for you, it's for me, it's for all. Okay. I am not saying those which are truly object driven or benefit driven. அது வந்து ஒரு 10 to 15% தான். Other 85% what happens you and I know. The schools and colleges, the medical institutions which we see right in front of our eyes, with great regards for those institutions which really do the charitable things. I'm nowhere எனக்கு தெரியும் ஒரு 2-3 institutions including the child trust law. They are doing superb job. But apart from that, what is happening is not in any manner acceptable for us. Any manner. Okay, the charitable trust என்ற பேர்ல நடக்கிறது, especially in education, Okay. I won't say what it is, but it is only for the person to whom it is addressed to. Just a smile inside. Trust me, Subiksha, the college which you studied calls themselves as trust. Okay, so in the trust பேர்ல நடக்கிறத என்னால் accept பண்ண. Okay, let us come back to tax law, because if I go in that direction, I will keep on speaking. Okay, so as I told you while reading that question, what is going to be the driving factor is application of income, utilization of income. Okay, if you are going to utilize for the purpose object of the trust, then I am going to provide lot of exemptions. Then I am going to provide you the exemption. If you are not going to use it, then I am not going to provide exemption. Let me start from the income side. Okay, what are all the incomes? Again, I ask the question. Okay, incomes of charitable trust. Okay, what are all the income a charitable trust will get? What are all the income a charitable trust will get? Okay, primarily their first source of income is voluntary contribution. இதுதான் அவங்களுடைய first source, which you call it as donation, you call it as subscription. Income tax law gives a terminology called voluntary contribution. Voluntary contribution. To the friends who are listening to the class, to the friends who are listening to the class, okay, ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம். இந்த voluntary contribution, write it in the center of the line with 3 falling branches. Okay, for the friends in the class, voluntary contribution is bifurcated, or sorry, is divided into 3. Okay, have it as 3 falling branches in our in your notebook. The extreme left, okay, voluntary contribution, you need not write this. Okay, you will write in the extreme right, forming part of corpus. Forming part of corpus. Voluntary contribution, extreme left, forming part of corpus. Sir, I drive into Shivananda Gurukulam, pay them a donation of rupees 1 lakh and tell them that use it for your corpus activity. Capital, corpus. Okay, this is like, because there is no shareholder or there is no owners, every contributory is like a owner and they contribute it as capital. Voluntary contribution, forming part of a corpus. Under that, put a small arrow and write, not to be treated as income. Voluntary contribution forming part of corpus will not be treated as income. General contribution to be treated as income. The center line is general contribution, which will be forming part of income. General contribution, which will be treated as income. The third category, the extreme right category, is anonymous donation. Okay, anonymous donation. That is, the donor is not revealing the name. The donor is not revealing the name. I will tell about the story later. the donor not revealing the name. Okay, under that taxable under section 115 BBC. Taxable under section 115 BBC. Voluntary contribution is divided into three, forming part of corpus not taxable, other things taxable as income. The third category is anonymous donation, where the name of the donor is not revealed, taxable under section 115 BBC. Taxable under section 115 BBC na enna Divya?
Special rates, sir.
Yeah, it is a
Rates are
charging section. It will have a special rate of taxation. We will see about this. We will see about this. Okay, so this is voluntary contribution, which is divided into three. So income will only be the general contribution. Income from property of the trust. Income from property of the trust. Now, from those who know me for long, from our inter days and in final also, I will always tell you, please don't understand the word property as house property. Everything is a property. Everything is a property. Okay, so the term property should not be read avasarathla. You should not say, oh, it's talking about house property. No, it is talking about general property. Okay, it can be house property. It can be house property, my dear friends. Majority of the time, it will be fixed deposits. The trustக்குலாம் என்ன ப்ராப்பர்ட்டினா என்னன்னா fixed deposit, investments which they have made, from that they will get income. Okay, right? So income from property of the trust. Okay, returns from assets held by the trust. Okay, it can be in the nature of, for your understanding, it can be in the nature of rent, it can be in the nature of interest, it can be in the nature of dividend. Okay, it can be anything which will be falling under income from property of the trust. One more important thing to understand. Section 10 is not applicable if trust is claiming exemption under section 11. Superb statement. If you are claiming exemption under section 11, for you section 10 is not applicable. You have a dividend income of 9 lakhs, you in the sense trust. The trust has a dividend income of 9 lakhs. The trust has a dividend income of 9 lakhs. In the 9 lakhs, should I take it as my income? The answer is yes, because 1034 is not applied. In the 9 lakhs, you should apply for the object of the trust, claim the exemption. When I am giving you exemption under section 11, don't ask me exemption under section 10. Income which is earned if trust is a partner in a firm and the trust gets share of profit. அதை எப்படி வேணா யூஸ் பண்ணலாமா trust can do anything with that. They can give it to the trustee. No, use it for your object and claim the exemption. I'm not saying I'm going to deny you the exemption, but don't claim it under section 10, claim it under section 11. However, 10.1 agree income is always exempt. Okay, இல்ல இன்னொன்னு எழுதுவாங்க அது நான் எழுதுறது. Okay, I'll tell you. Section 10 is not applicable if the trust is claiming exemption under 11. 10(1) agree income is always exempt. So you can understand it as section 10 is not applicable other than section 10(1). Okay, that is you can. But people will also write other than section 10(1) and 1023C. So 1023C apply ஆகணும்னா 11 கே வராது. It will not fall under 11. Why will it come under 11 if 1023C is applicable? So don't write that. That is a wrong way of just adding sentences. If it is falling under 11 only, we are speaking about. If it is falling under 1023C, it's all getting exempt. So I'm not writing that. Okay. So except agricultural income, all other income which are exempt is also known as income from property, and it is also going to be application driven. Income from business or profession, which we all know, now we have seen, if it is falling under the first limbs, okay, then it is going to be exempt. If it is general public utility, it is going to be only restricted to 20%, not big to right. This alone, my dear friends, discussed later. I will discuss about capital gains exemption later. There is a small way in which you will compute the capital gain. I will discuss that later. So these can only be the incomes of the trust. Voluntary, majorly voluntary contribution, income from property of the trust, rarely income from business. How the income should be applied so that I get the benefit. How the trust should use the income for getting the benefit. 85% of the income should be utilized for the object of the trust. Okay, 85% of the income should be used for, okay, object of the trust. To claim exemption, I should have at least applied 85% of my income, my dear friends. If in the last year my income is 10 lakhs, 8 lakh 50,000 should be spent for the object of the trust. Otherwise, I will not consider it. Okay, 85% of the income should be utilized for object of the trust. So at 15% we indirectly call it a standard deduction. Formatly I will teach you. Okay, that 15% is indirectly known as a standard deduction. So 85% of the income should be utilized for the object of the trust. The term utilization includes both capital and revenue. This is the beauty. Even capital expenditure will form part of utilization. A hospital constructs a new block. it is utilization. A school buys an equipment, it is utilization. Okay, the term utilization includes both capital and revenue, where capital items like building assets, etc. Okay, you also understand it as asset is claimed as utilization, then depreciation on the same cannot be claimed. Okay, simple law like scientific research, like specified business. When you claim the asset itself as deduction, subsequently you cannot claim the depreciation also as deduction. The term utilization is both capital and revenue, where capital asset is claimed as utilization, is taken as utilization, then depreciation cannot be claimed upon this. Repayment of loan will also be treated as utilization. Okay, obviously from your voluntary contribution, obviously from your income from property only, you will repay the loan. So repayment of loan will also be treated as utilization. Grants or scholarship provided will also be treated as utilization. Friends, leave 2 3 lines, because later if we remember something on utilization, let's come back and write. We have covered everything, but if at all we missed out something, we will come and write it. So leave 2 3 lines. Heading: deferral of utilization. Heading, actually in your notebook again we will go to a diagram. In the center of the line, deferral of utilization. Three falling branches. Deferral of utilization. Three falling branches. Balaji, are you there, Balaji?
Yes, sir.
Balaji, trust audit பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? Have you gone through trust audit?
No, sir.
No, not a problem, Balaji. General psychological question only, Balaji. A person donates to the trust. For the trust, it will be treated as income. For the person donating, he will claim 80G. This logic you know, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. When will a person donate?
You'll be donating for some specific
No.
cause.
Yeah,
Some,
at the time.
as a marriage, a birthday, marriage, something like that.
No. For a trust, I'm saying. For a trust. So, for a general
For
good cause trust, when will a person donate?
towards their filing returns, sir.
No, actually, the answer is slightly different. Majority of the times, thank you, Balaji. Majority of the time, it was psychology. It was psychology. I always told you, income tax law is based on psychology. Okay. Uh, in April itself, I will plan the donation. I should give 1 lakh to this particular school, or the school I studied, or the hospital, or something. but we always defer it to March. We always defer it to. And the March 31st kulla appada namakku jama varum. Oh, I need to claim 80G. Intention is good. Intention is not that only to claim 80G. Okay, intention is to donate, no doubt about it. But we always defer the donation. We all know. And those who have seen trust audit will also know from the other end the trust. Okay, that in the month of March. So, இப்போ என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு சொல்றேன். April to Feb, my income will be 40 lakhs. In the month of March, my income will be 70 lakhs. For the trust, I am saying 85% of 70 lakhs I should spend before March 31st. My utilization should be 85%. My utilization should be 85%, but I receive the donation in the month of March or probably in the last quarter. How do you expect me to spend everything within a short period? So the law gives the first deferral as impracticability. Okay? Donation is received in the later part of the year. Law வந்து periodல எதுவும் சொல்ல. I accept it is impracticable to apply because you have received the donation during the later part of the year. So the law says, no problem, boss, use it in the next year at least. Use it. I defer it by 1 year. Deferral has 3 branches. The extreme left is impracticability. The extreme left is impracticability. Under that, the notes, okay, donation is received in the later part of the year. Okay, donation is received in the later. There is no specification what is later part of the year. It is impracticable to apply. Okay, assessee, which is nothing but the trust, may opt for deferring the utilization by maximum 1 year. It should be utilized in the next year. Okay, you can file an application saying, I am unable to use it immediately. Please give me a deferral of 1 year. They will automatically grant you. Impracticability. This is first the deferral. Come to the middle branch. Okay, due but not received. Friends, trust is following mercantile basis of accounting. Trust is following mercantile basis of accounting. Income is accrued but not received. Income, okay, I told you fixed deposit is the major form of their asset. So income is accrued but not received. Income is only accrued. என்னால எப்படி சார் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும்? How will I use 85% when I don't get the income? When I don't get the income, how do you expect me to use? So, due but not received. Due but not received. Okay. This will be automatically deferred. And utilization can be in the year of receipt or in the immediate succeeding year. Okay, use it in the year of receipt or in the next year, in the immediate. So In 1920, I have not received it. In 1920, okay, it is accrued. Okay, it is accrued. In 2021, okay, it is 2021 received. Okay, use it in 2021 or 21-22. That is the law. That is the law. Okay. Utilization is deferred to the year of receipt or to its immediate succeeding year. The third branch, conditional accumulation, which we say 11 subsection 2. The other two are 11 subsection 1 clause A, don't worry about it. This is 11 subsection 2. Conditional accumulation. First, I'll explain you. Sir, I am running a charitable hospital and I am in requirement of a current level, or what I would call it as well advanced equipment. Let us take, I want an MRI scanning equipment with the latest features. Okay, and it cost me a very big sum, so I will not be able to afford it with my 1 year income, sir. So what I will tell to the government is, boss, allow me to accumulate. Conditional accumulation. என்ன condition சொல்றேன். Okay, allow me to accumulate some 2-3 years profit so that I can make it. So I will make an application to the commissioner. I want to use it for a capital purpose in the near future. So kindly allow me to accumulate. The commissioner will grant you permission. Again, ரொம்ப automatic grant பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay, the commissioner will grant you permission with a condition that within so much year you should have accumulated and purchased it. The maximum period is only 5 years. Within such period you can accumulate it and buy it, but the maximum period is restricted to 5 years. So condition is commissioner imposing you should use it only for this purpose, maximum number of period. If they say 2 years, 3 years maximum, it cannot exceed 5 years. Conditional. What I am doing is accumulation, so it is known as conditional accumulation. Conditional accumulation. For future capital expenditure, income can be set apart. Okay, the maximum period for which it can be set apart will be 5 years. This is not determined by you. For 5 years I will set apart. You cannot say. You should put the application. Commissioner will say, okay, I will allow you conditional accumulation of 2 years, 3 years, or maximum the commissioner can allow is, okay, that is condition. Okay, so conditional accumulation. Deferral of utilization is classified. I mean, you can have 3 levels of deferral or 3 cases of deferral. Impracticable to apply, defer the income, defer the utilization, sorry, not defer the income, defer the utilization. Due but not received, defer the utilization. You have received, you have the money, but you say that in the future I want to keep a car, I want to accumulate some funds so that I can go and buy that capital equipment, or I construct a new block, I will celebrate this particular occasion. So conditional accumulation. again a question and answer. What will not be considered as utilization? What will not be considered as utilization? What I cannot take it as an expenditure or utilization. First item, you know, I have already written it. Depreciation. If the asset is claimed as utilization in the past years, because in the question they will say depreciation and they will say the asset has already been claimed. So you will add back that depreciation. You will not allow it if they give the net profit or the net income, you will add back that depreciation because you have already claimed it. You have already claimed it. So depreciation if the asset is claimed as utilization in the past years. Only 70% of the expenditure will be allowed as utilization. Only 70% of the expenditure will be allowed as utilization, where assessee has to deduct tax at source and remit it, but fail to do so. Okay. So again, number PGBP down. Okay. There I will 30% disallow. Here I will only allow 70%. I paid 1 lakh to the auditor of the trust without deducting tax at source. Only 70,000 will be considered as utilization. The remaining 30,000 will not be considered. Any expenditure on a single day to a particular person in excess of rupees 10,000 paid by cash or bearer check or crossed check will not be treated as utilization. 48.3 applicability. 48.3 applicable. Payment benefiting the trustees or relatives of such trustees. Trustees are not supposed to take their income, take any remuneration or benefit. If any payment is made benefiting the trustees or the relatives of the trustees, it will not be allowed. What is anonymous donation and its treatment. What is anonymous donation and its treatment? There is a story.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, whether the balance 30% of expenditure will be allowed in the next year?
No, sir. No. And the provision. No, sir. What is anonymous donation and how it is going to be treated? Okay. There is a small story. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக இருக்கும். Bombay blast. Okay. And then we started tracking, my dear friends. We started tracking how funds are coming into India. What is the exact problem we are facing? At that time, we found out that trust is the channel by which funds are brought into India and used for unfair activities. When I say unfair activities, I'm not just saying that I'm saying whatever the finance minister or at that time Sri Chidambaram and what is being recorded. Unfair activities like terrorism, like conversions, like various forceful things that are being done. So, trust is getting money and they don't know from whom they are getting money. Both from foreign major sources are coming. Domestically, some people are within the country also, some people are giving money to the trust. The names doesn't get revealed and these funds are not utilized in the proper manner. So we said, at that time the budget is on 28th, that is the last day of Feb, 28th or 29th. இப்போ Feb first present பண்றோம், அப்போ 28th. Okay, the then finance minister read, I am going to tax anonymous donations at 30%. MMR. I am going to tax anonymous donations at MMR, which is 30%. Okay, understand it as 30%. I'll go detailed later. Okay, okay. So I am going to tax anonymous donations at 30%. Anonymous donation means where you are not revealing the donor's name. Okay, what is anonymous donation? Anonymous donation means the details of donor not provided. Cash அப்படின்னே யூஸ் பண்ணல. Donor's name and PAN, that is what is the detail. Okay, the anonymous donation means the details of the donor is not provided. Then I will treat it as anonymous donation and tax it at 30%. Tax it as 30%. When did he read it? Feb 28th, he read the budget. March 2nd, he is forced to withdraw this provision by giving relief. March 2nd அன்னைக்கு நடந்தது. 28th Feb, I read it. On March 2nd, I was forced to give a statement saying that no, I will give this relief. Okay, and don't immediately put your thoughts on wandering because we are always thinking, oh, இந்த மாதிரி force na it has come from It has come from a source which is very interesting to understand. On March 1st, one organization went and asked the finance minister, நாங்க என்ன பண்ணணும்? That organization is Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. Sir, we have the Srivari Undi, which people drop. People just drop. Do you want us to tell உங்க பேரு பேன்லாம் கொடுங்க? You understand the problem, right? The person who went and appealed to the government or to the finance ministry is not anywhere a lesser influential. They highest body went, the highest நம்ம இந்தியாவில் இருக்கிற ஒரு டாப் டொமஸ்டிக் ட்ரஸ்ட்ல I think it will qualify as topmost. They went and asked, what are we supposed to do? How do you expect us to collect the details of the donor? Intention of the finance minister was correct. Now if you just put your pen and think, the question is also correct. திருப்பதி என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க? So the finance minister on March 2nd said in the press release, listen, I will not bring the religious trust into this. So the purpose got defeated. Okay, the educational institution, medical institution, anonymous donation will become taxable. I agree with you. But the intention was very nice. The question was all the more difficult to digest. So anonymous donation means the details of the donor is not provided. However, this provision is not applicable for religious trust because they cannot get anonymous donation. Anonymous donation is taxable under section 115 BBC at the rate of 30%. Anonymous donation, so you know 115 BBC means it is a charging section, is taxable under section 115 BBC at the rate of 30%. However, so we are talking about exception. Anonymous donation to the extent of rupees 1 lakh or 5% of total donations is taxable at normal rates. I am not the tax law also understand. எல்லா donationum cannot be with the name and PAN. 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees somebody is donating. Small amounts people donate. How can you say that it should be within 5%? Anonymous donation to the extent of 1 lakh or 5% of total donation is taxable at normal rate. So balance anonymous donation is taxable at 30%. You understand? Anonymous donation to the extent of rupees 1 lakh or 5%. Sorry friends, whichever is higher. Okay, anonymous donation to the extent of 1 lakh or 5% of total donation, whichever is higher is taxable at normal rates. Balance anonymous donation is taxable at 30%.
Sir, does this mean any utilization of anonymous donation will not be treated as utilization?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very good answering. That's what I'm going to write in the next line. Yeah. Can you stay there for a minute, Balaji Dana?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Vijay, sir.
Vijay, 5% of total donation. 1 lakh or 5% of total donation. Total donation will include all the three. General, corpus, anonymous.
No, sir. It should exclude anonymous. Then it will become a
Yes,
simultaneous
sir.
equation.
Angada, the law has made it that it is total donation. It includes, okay, it includes everything. Total donation means all donations, including corpus and anonymous. Okay, so that is what is the law saying. For the question Vijay now asked me, Section 115 BBC is operative irrespective of utilization. Okay. Just now I read the question also, if you remember. That is, though not in this line. Just now I read the question. Sir, my donation, my business receipt is more than 30%, more than 25%. But I have used it. For the purpose of the general utility, for the purpose of object of the trust. Am I claiming exemption? No. Similarly, I got anonymous donation in excess of 1 lakh or 5% of my total donation, but I used that anonymous donation. It's a question. Whatever which I asked, it's an examination question. Twice they have asked. If the anonymous donation is utilized, does that mean that I will not tax it? No. Anonymous donation, irrespective of its utilization, is taxable at 30% in excess of 1 lakh or 5%. Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam Trust. Okay. This is not a recent case law. That's why I'm writing this. I will put a case law sheet also and write it there. Okay. And note பண்ணிருக்கீங்களான்னு தெரியாது. I know all of you regularly visit. Okay, pre-COVID and very soon. Okay, so but I don't know whether you have note. Okay, ஒரு விஷுவலா யோசிங்க. After the darshan is over, we come. Okay, we come around the praharam and we come to Srivari Hundi. Visually think, you will now recollect it. There will be two Srivari Hundi. There will be two Srivari Hundis. That is.
Yes, sir. One is for corpus and.
Avladhan, sir. Very good, sir. Very good. That's what I want to do. Great. Thanks to our friend who has noted. நிறைய பேர் நோட் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. மெயின் ஸ்ரீவாரி hundi அதுக்கு மேல ஒரு அதாவது it will be near the idol but there will be a very big barricade you cannot, okay, which is where we drop all our offerings. அங்க மேல ஒரு போர்டு இருக்கு சார். There is a board. Any dropping in this hundi will be considered as corpus donation. Corpus donation means it will not form part of income. உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். So any droppings in this hundi, he has noted, Hariharan has noted, okay, will form part of corpus. வெளியில வந்தோடனே ஒரு ஸ்ரீவாரி hundi இருக்கு. That is general donation. If you drop there, it is general donation. Okay. Here, there is a board which says that it is for any dropping will be considered as corpus donation. Give regards. Okay. யாராவது உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட இல்ல நீங்க உங்க ஃபேமிலியோட போகும்போது அந்த இன்னொரு hundi அந்த ஜெனரல் டொனேஷன்ல டிராப் பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்லி பாருங்க. Okay. No. Only if you drop it near the idol, it will reach Kuberan. It will be a repayment of interest or loan. So people will not accept dropping it in the other. Shrivari hundi, that is the main hundi which is very near to the idol with a barricade but which is coming under the same roof, will only be utilized for dropping, which is having a board that any offering will be taken as thus. Income Tax Department contended intention of the donor should be it should go to corpus. Intention of the donor should be it should go to corpus. அங்க யாரும் போர்டெல்லாம் படிக்கவே மாட்டாங்க. I'm very happy I heard it. But who will read it? Nobody will have time to read it. Just because you have an inscription, that doesn't mean that it is corpus donation, so it cannot be accepted. Okay? இங்கேயும் அதேதான். We were unable to ask Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, so what, pay 30%. Anyhow, it is coming to government. Immediately, இங்கேயும் அதேதான். Okay? The court took a favorable judgment for the Devasthanam, saying that no. It need not be having a receipt of corpus trust. Dropper not reading is not the fault of the temple or the trust authorities. The trust authorities has clearly mentioned that any droppings will be, any offerings will be considered as corpus trust. Whether the person is reading or not, it will form part of corpus trust. Okay, நம்மளுடைய third question ஒன்னு hundi ரெண்டு வாட்டி இந்த கொஸ்டின் வந்திருக்கு. இட்ஸ் a landmark case law but not current year. With a super subscribing, contribution in this hundi will form part of corpus kept at Lord Venkateshwara Temple, Tirumala was opened and cash of 100 lakhs and value of 30 lakhs were found as contributed by the devotees. What is the treatment? It will be taken as trust income only. Corpus trust only. Tirumala Tirupati, okay, where there is an inscription or specification that droppings in an hundi will form part of corpus fund. The donor is considered to have read it and dropped it only with the intention of computation of income. Format of computation of income. You know what type of voluntary contribution I am talking about? We have already seen only general contribution. This is like a standard deduction. This is, I want the trust to utilize only 85%. So this 15% is standard deduction. So amount to be utilized. Okay, this is one of the key point. Amount to be utilized, income minus 15% standard deduction lead me to amount to be utilized less, okay, amount actually utilized. Amount actually utilized, which can be capital or revenue, whatever it is, we all know. Okay, impracticable to utilize, that is received late, so I am unable to utilize it. Okay, due but not received, okay, which also you all know. Okay, conditional accumulation, which also you all know. Amount actually utilized, capital and revenue. In that, what will not be considered, I have already told you. 30% if tax is not deducted, cash, okay, depreciation, all will not be treated as utilization remaining. Impracticable to utilize because you received in the later part of the year. Due but not received, that is accrual basis of accounting. Conditional accumulation, you say that you are going to use it in the future years. This is known as the income of the trust. The amount is known as the, after all utilization is reduced, it is known as the income of the trust. If the income exceeds the basic exemption limit, then such income is taxable at slab rates. Okay, I have already told you it is because there is one very famous book itself which writes trust is taxable at individual rates. Normal. Okay, trust is taxable at slab rates. Of course, I understand they have communicated what and you are understanding, but the teaching level we can teach like this. Colloquial level is different. If the income exceeds the basic exemption limit, then such income is taxable at slab rates. Okay. Anonymous donation will be separately taxable at 30%. Have a read through, friends. Have a read through from the top. Just give me 5 10 minutes. Friends, uh, the administrative questions, we will answer it separately. Okay. Today I am going for income computation. Later we will also answer administrative in the next class. Okay. Today my focus is on income computation.
I have it also.
Yeah, I'm listening from you.
Sorry, sir, for that non-deduction of TDS, 70% expenditure is allowed, no, sir?
Yes.
Even it is non-resident, it will be same, sir? Payment?
Yes, sir. It is so. Actually, trust or non-resident pay பண்ண
Okay, sir.
அதனால
Right.
okay. So some questions, whichever questions I am leaving, it is administrative part of the provision, which we will answer there in the next class. To your practical notebook. Thanks, Lalita, for reminding. And sorry, you have reminded it very late. Okay. Right. We'll start from the first question. Okay. A charitable trust derives its income from business for providing mineral water to various companies situated in the software technological park in Hyderabad. A sum of 30 lakhs has been derived as net income from business activity, which has been applied for object of general public utility. Examine the taxability of application of income if the income so derived relates to the previous year 1920. Would your answer be different if it is running a school? Okay. Volume 2 I am not going to write, but generally. Okay. I think it will be a continuation page number 262. Okay. As the trust falls under general public utility, where the trust falls under the category of general public utility, where the trust falls under the category of general public utility. My dear friends, the business income should not exceed 20% of total income. Where it has exceeded, then irrespective of utilization, the trust loses the exemption for the year 1920. The trust falls under the first category, that is providing educational facility. The trust falls under the first category, which is nothing but providing educational facility. The trust falls under the first category, that is providing educational facility. There is no restriction on business income. The only restriction is 85% should be utilized for charitable purposes. I'll come to the second question. Here he answer pantu varen. Okay. Question number 3. We have answered that. Okay. I just copy it and paste it. Question number 4. A trust, unless created for charitable trust purposes, does not qualify the exemption under this chapter. Chapter 3 nada and all exemptions, because chapter 1 introduction and definitions, chapter 2 residential status, chapter 3, chapter 4 income, chapter 5 is clubbing, chapter 6 is set off, 6a is deduction. So chapter 3. In this context, explain the meaning of charitable purpose and examine whether the following part. Explain the meaning of charitable. Okay, question number 4. Okay. Please write this definition. What is meant by charitable trust purpose அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா, this is the definition you have to write. You need not write the other conditions etc., but the definition is this. A single line. Charitable purpose or charitable object includes relief for poor, educational facility, medical facility, preservation of environment, preservation of monument, yoga, and objects of general public utility.
Sir,
Sir?
Sir, under section 1023C, what will be the quantum of exemption, sir?
Yeah, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. I understand your question. I'll come to that. Hence, examine whether the following objects constitute part of it. Rural reconstruction and upliftment of masses through cottage industry. Enna Vijay?
Sir,
It is falling under the above categories.
no, sir.
Yeah,
I don't think.
why?
What is the public utility, sir?
What a rural reconstruction and upliftment of masses is not for public utility. Okay, it is, yes. In fact, not even public utility. First one, yes, it is considered as relief for poor, and hence will qualify to be a charitable purpose. உங்களுடைய knowledge and understandingகாக சொல்றேன். Because Vijay asked that question, I thought I can answer that. General public utility na don't understand that it should benefit 138 crores of our population. Even a section of the public is known as public also. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு கம்பெனி லால இத பத்தின ஒரு டீடைல்டு ஆர்குமெண்ட், டீடைல்டு அனாலிசிஸ் இருக்கு. வாட் இஸ் பப்ளிக் லிமிடெட் கம்பெனி? All public தான் public limited company? No. Even a section of the public, Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank was started by the Nadar community of Tamil Nadu, from the state of Tamil Nadu. Only in the initial days, only in that community they can become the shareholders or members of that. Ana, it is a public limited. A section of the public. ரொம்ப detailed discussion ஒண்ணுனா. When I was a student, I read it for knowledge sake, examination sake. Okay, so in the section of the public will also known as okay, ஏன்னா அப்ப வந்து when I was a student, the public issue அப்படின்னா என்னன்றது one of the very prominent. All eligible to subscribe can subscribe. அதுதான் public issue. Or a section of the public alone. Amongst that section, I give the option, whoever wants to. Even a section of the public is also known as public. So, object of general public utility can be any section of the public also. Welfare of industrial workers with the stipulation that the workers of settlor of trust have got preference over others. Okay. Welfare of industrial workers. Yes, it will fall under either relief for poor or objects of general public utility. The mere specification that the workers will have preference will not make it as a private trust. Private trust na for benefit of a particular individual or particular set of people. That is what is known as private trust. This a worker will get, okay, all trade unions are almost registered either as a trust or as a society. You all have seen, okay, right? I can, in today's world, I can say you are all have deemed to have seen, okay, all welfare, all trade unions will be either registered as a trust or as a society, but it is only for the workers of Ashok Leyland, industrial workers of TVS Motors. அதனால அது private trust தானா? No. A set of public, a section of public is also known as general public only, and it is also general public utility. Okay, I know two set of peoples. Okay, there are some of you maybe it's one or two of you who have been seeing trust right from articles of year 1 to articles of year 3. You have been very well because your firm has a lot of trust audits. You are very comfortable or very sure about the provision. There is other set of population who has not even seen a trust audit also. Some of you would not have seen a trust audit at all. Okay, for you, these things will be interesting, but slightly like Greek and Latin, what he is speaking. Okay, so I have seen both the set of students. Okay, one of my always a request to the institute, which institute has never listened to me. ICWA institute பண்றாங்க ஒரு ஃபவுண்டேஷன் எக்ஸாம் ஹோம் பேஸ்ட் அப்படின்னு. நம்மளால பண்ண முடியாத நம்மளுடைய கார்பஸ்க்கும் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் டு ஃபைனல் we can do. I am a person who strongly support open book exam, especially tax. உங்களுடைய FR எடுத்துங்களேன், அப்படி you want the institute wants you to by heart. The institute should make you to refer to the right place and write the answers. 1 minute. FR, which is no more a practical paper, more like a theoretical paper. Tax, both, all types of taxes. Okay, open book exam and home based exam is an easy model. 5 வருஷமா, not because of COVID. Even before COVID, I was telling that we will move on to open book system, at least at final level, not the foundation level, MCQ level. Final level, you can make it home based. All students might not be having computers, accepted. Nearby colleges, engineering colleges across the country, within half an hour you can reach an engineering college. Anga irukra computer lab oda we can enter into an agreement to just conduct the examination. We don't need so many centers, we don't need so much of logistics. Okay, it is simple, one click. Consider ICW exam பண்றாங்க சார். நான் அந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் தப்பு சொல்றேன். I mean, don't think about me like that. Okay, I have my own regard for them, but we should be the leaders, Leah. The word எல்லாத்தையும் we are the leaders, we are the leaders, they should not use ICA, அதெல்லாம் நான் ஒத்துக்கிறேன். ஆனா lead, don't always be a follower. CFA பண்ணினா, CPA பண்ணியாச்சு, ACCA பண்ணியாச்சு, then I will do. That is not your style. You be the first to do it and prove it. You don't have funds to create an good software. Don't you have professionals? Don't you have money to create good professionals, etc.? Okay. 2 institutions in this country should be taken as examples of, one as an example, another. BCCI, invent பண்ணிண்டே இருப்பாங்க. Leave alone the controversies and politics behind that. But I'll shift the venue. I want this to happen. They will always look for leading. ICC மேல நான் நிக்கணும், BCCI will always try to lead. And the one who should lead is ICAI. They also have the fund, etc. But they are not doing it. Okay. And because of which, I always feel why. So when I was asked to a casual chatler, I told them, sir, Viva is mandatory for all articled students. The examination should be conducted only computer based or open book or whatever it is. Viva. Has the student been given enough exposure by the auditor? if the student is not performing well in the Viva, you should send, I'm not saying debar pannu அந்த மாதிரி தான் நான் பண்ணுவேன். You should tell the auditor, boss, I think you have to take care of your students. Auditors should stop seeing articles as resources. Auditors should see articles as students. If you do that, those things will value add. ஒரு ஃப்ளோர் ஷாப்ல ஒர்க் பண்ற மாதிரி நீங்கெல்லாம் ஒரு மெக்கானிக்கல் இன்ஜினியரிங் ஃப்ளோர் ஷாப்ல போய் தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். நம்ம காலேஜ்ல படிக்கிறதுக்கு ஒண்ணுமே இல்லை.
ஆடிட்டரா இருப்பீங்க சார். நீங்க மட்டும் தான் அந்த மாதிரி ஆடிட்டரா இருப்பீங்க.
I have, when I was in practice, never I will allow a article to sit in my office beyond 5 p.m. I will not do that. I'll tell them, எதுக்கு இருக்கீங்க, உன்னால 10 to 5 முடிக்க முடியலன்னா ஒரு ஜாப், அந்த ஜாப் நான் எடுத்துக்கல. நீங்க சொன்னா நம்ப மாட்டீங்க, அரகண்ட் பர்சன் நான் ஒரு சில விஷயத்துல. I will send a mail to my client on 1st of July for all the salaried class saying, if I receive your information before July 15th or maximum 20th, I'll extend, but in mail it will be July 15th, I will file your return, or otherwise I will not file your return. நான் கடைசி நிமிஷத்துல வேலை செய்ய மாட்டேன், நீ ஜூலை 25 கொண்டு கொடுத்துட்டு என்ன பண்ணுன்னு சொல்லாத. Similarly, if I get all the information before September 10th, I will take up that tax audit case. Otherwise, I will not. I will forego. I'm arrogant to such a level that out of some 20 years of my practice, 4 to 5 years, I will plan my office tour. Because நான் பண்ணலைன்னா கூட இந்த ஆர்டிகல்ஸ்ல அவங்க எனக்கு தெரியாம அவன் அந்த கிளையண்ட்டுக்கு பண்ணி கொடுத்துடலாம், சாருக்கு சொன்னா அவர் திட்டுவார் அப்படின்னு தனியா பண்ணுவாங்க. So 4 to 5 years, I assure you, I have planned my office tour on July 29, 30, 31, August 1. I will tell in the date தான் போறோம். நான் கிளையண்ட்டுக்கு சொல்லியாச்சு, நீ வேண்டான்னா பண்ண வேணாம்னா உனக்கு பண்ணல, ஆனா நீ எனக்கு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஏப்ரல் 1st அன்னைக்கு நீ பிளான் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கலன்னா you will not, okay, I am against extending this due dates, March 31st எதுக்கு 18-19 ஃபைலிங், இவங்க எப்ப அசஸ்மெண்ட் முடிக்க போறாங்க? இதெல்லாம் என்னுடைய ஒப்பீனியன்ஸ். ஸோ எனக்கு ஆடிட்டர்ஸையும் கொஞ்சம் டெஸ்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி, ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இன்னஃப் எக்ஸ்போஷர். யூ see him as a student, இது ஒரு ஆன் த ஜாப் ட்ரைனிங், இதுல நிறைய எக்ஸ்போஷர் கொடுக்கணும். ஆனா என்ன, we see him as a resources. Okay, per hour the articles should earn to the firm 600 rupees, 1000 rupees per, அந்த மாதிரி ஆர்டிகல்ஸை பார்த்துட்டோம்னா we are doing a very gross mistake and we are leading both the articles and the profession in the wrong manner. Okay, இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் வெளில அமைச்சிட்டாங்க. என்ன கேட்ட அந்த 5 பேரும் ரொம்ப பிக் ஃபர்ம்ஸ் அண்ட் பிக் இது. ஓகே, ஒரு 5 பேர் என்கிட்ட கேட்டாங்க, நீங்க ஒன்னொன்னு, இஃப் யூ ஆர் மேட் ஆஸ் ICAI president, what are all the changes you will bring in? I told them I will bring first the examination change. I will bring in articleship, I will bring in Viva. Viva is mandatory both for the student. ஒரு எக்ஸாம் பாஸ் பண்றதுனால சார், நான் என்னையே எக்ஸாம்பிள் எடுத்துன்னு நான் சொல்றேன் சார், எக்ஸாம் பாஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் கத்துண்டது தான் ஜாஸ்தி. ஆனா that will not be the case for you people. உங்களுக்கு எக்ஸாம் பாஸ் பண்ண அப்புறம் அக்கவுண்ட்ஸ் மறந்து போயிடும். Tax, unless you are in that particular department, you will forget all that. So exam passing illa criteria. What you have learned, beautiful course, nammaloda course, so the greatest asset is articleship period. Learning on the job is something phenomenal. Communication will increase, inhibitions will be lost, and we will be able to move with professionals at an early age with a lot of extraordinary features. ஆனா இதை டெஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்கு has the student undergone, நான் படிக்கும்போது, இப்போ எனக்கு தெரியாது, நான் படிக்கும்போது உண்மையா நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன், I have seen. ஓகே, அப்போ இது கிடையாது, கண்டினியூஸ் ஆர்டிகல்ஸ், நடுவுல இன்டர், அப்புறம் ஃபைனல். ஓகே, ஆந்திராலேருந்து இங்க YMIA ஹாஸ்டல் ஃபுல்லா ஆந்திரா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் தான் இருப்பாங்க. they come only with the intention of clearing CA. அவங்க ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் கூட பண்ண மாட்டாங்க சார். I'm honest to you. They will not. Some auditor, they will get the signature. They will come and do sit. எந்த கிளாஸ் பார்த்தாலும் அவங்க தான் இருப்பாங்க. All the through they will attend the classes. They will, because I have friends who have voluntarily confessed to me. I'm not building blocks. இப்ப இல்ல நான் சொல்றது when okay in Andhra, if you clear CA, your dowry value increases like anything. Okay, so adu வந்து not that it is zero now, but it has reduced, that's all. So these things, so test for the student should also be there. ஒரு 3 வருஷம் ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இது, பட் இன்னொரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் ஆர்டிகல்ஸே பண்ணாம எக்ஸாம் மாத்திரம் எழுதி பாஸ் பண்றதும் தப்பு. ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் பீரியட்ல எதனால இந்த ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் தட் எக்ஸ்போஷர் இஃப் இட் இஸ் நாட் கிவன் இஸ் ராங். ஓகே, நிறைய பிளேசஸ் நிறைய ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இந்த ட்ரஸ்ட் எல்லாம், ஆனா நாம ரோட்ல நடக்கும்போது இஃப் யூ டர்ன் திஸ் சைட் தட் சைட் யூ வில் ஃபைண்ட் 10 ட்ரஸ்ட் இன் ஒன் ரோட். அவ்வளவு ட்ரஸ்ட் இருக்கு சார். யுவர் ஸ்கூல்ஸ், யுவர் மெடிக்கல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ், ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ஸ், ஓகே, எல்லாமே ட்ரஸ்ட் சார். நீங்க பார்க்கிற நிறைய விஷயங்கள், டெம்பிள்ஸ், இது எல்லாமே எல்லாம் இருக்குல்ல. நீங்க ரோட்ல 10 கோயில் பாக்குறீங்க, 10 எஜுகேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் பாக்குறீங்க. அப்பனா ஒரு ட்ரஸ்டோட ஆடிட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்ல ஒரு ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் பீரியட்ல if that is not that knowledge is not passed on, I feel that it is wrong. ஒரு ரொட்டேஷன்ல, ஏன்னா அந்த ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் வந்து ஏதோ ஒரு ஆடிட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ல கொடுத்துட்டா 3வது வருஷம் வரைக்கும் அந்த ஆடிட் தான், நீ தான் அது அப்படின்னு ரொட்டேட் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கணும். ஓகே, fortunately I had that blessings from my audit officer. I will not deny that. எல்லாத்தையும் அப்படி பார்ட்டருக்குள்ளேயே ரொட்டேட் so that a full cycle. ஒரு அட்வான்டேஜ், சின்ன ஃபர்ம், ரொம்ப கம்மியா ஆர்டிகல்ஸ், எல்லாரும் எல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்தாகணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு நெசசிட்டி இருந்தது. ஸோ those things added these values to me. Okay, I know I'm deviating a lot. Yeah, இந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது ஜெனரலா பேச ஆரம்பிச்சா, okay, this is an administrative provision because application registration, we will come to that. Okay, let's go to practical cases and see. We'll do question number 2 first. Gangaram Public Charitable Trust runs a hospital. The gross receipts from its operational activity is 250 lakhs and expenses 55 lakhs. Out of the income of 250 lakhs, the amount accrued but not received is 20 lakhs. The institution marked 30 lakhs in March 20 to give it as building advance as intended to be taken on lease for expansion of hospital, but the amount was actually paid on 7th April as the lease agreement could not be signed. The trust got an ERP developed and installed by an IT company. The total cost was 85 lakhs. Advise the trust on its total income. If the trust has incurred 12 lakhs for purchase of number of desktop and laptop for use of in the hospital. Read through. I'll also do it in lakhs itself. Gross receipts 215 less 15% set apart amount to be utilized. Okay, amount to be utilized is 212.5. Let us see the utilization. Expenses 55 lakhs. Okay, the amount of income accrued but not received. Accrued but not received. 20. Okay. Can I claim this 30 lakhs? Can somebody tell me whether this 30 lakhs can be claimed?
Conditional accumulation.
Illa sir. It's not
No, sir.
accumulated, sir.
It's earmark and set apart. It's given as earmark and set apart. It cannot be
அப்படிதான்
claimed,
sir.
sir.
The earmark and set apart in March had given us an advance for a building intended to take on, but the amount was paid only on 7th April.
Impracticability.
Sir?
Impracticability.
Illa
Next
sir, illa sir.
succeeding year.
Receipt illa sir. Payment. Some other concept, one concept which I am sure you all will get that. No, Hariharan.
பே பண்ணியிருக்கணும் சார் அது பிஃபோர் திங்க் ஃபைலிங் ஆஃப் ரிட்டர்ன் இட் இஸ் அலௌட் ஐ திங்க்
It is allowed. Can you come to the concept? Na Divya?
Allowed, sir.
அதான் ஒரு கான்செப்ட் இருக்கு, அதுக்கு பேர் என்ன? Substance over form. Okay, the amount is ready to be paid but paid on a later date, that is within 7 days. As Hariharan was saying, it's paid before the due date itself. Okay, since it is set apart for that purpose, it's allowed. Okay, please write this in exam also. Depreciation cannot be claimed as asset treated as utilization. Though they are not claimed, but as a value added answer, please write that always. Again the same. Okay, Though the exam question has not asked for, just I'm working in showing. $10,50,000 minus 10 lakh into 30% plus 112,500. So 50,000 into 30% plus. Madhav,
Yes, sir.
income is taxable at slab rates, Madhav. So
Yes, sir.
if the income is more than 2,50,000, less than 5 lakhs, I can claim 87A. Am I correct?
No, sir. That is only for individuals.
That's beautiful, Madhav. Thank you. Okay, 87A cannot be claimed because in examination tension, don't miss it. Only for individuals, the 87A. Trust class, more than 250, fully it will become taxable at slab. An institution having its main object as advancement of public utility received 30 lakhs in aggregate from an activity in the nature of business. It applied 85% of its receipt from such activity during the same year for its main object. What would be the tax consequence of such receipt and application thereof? Okay. Uh, Strike off the second part, I will tell you why. What would be your answer if the main object is relief for the poor and 85% is used for main object? 3 years back, the provision was 20% of total receipt or 25 lakhs. Whichever is higher can be business income. So that's why they have here put 23 lakhs instead of 30 lakhs. How you answer? That 25 lakhs is now gone. That 25, the amendment 3 years back, not recently even, 2016. So this question becomes irrelevant now. So that's why I'm asking you to strike it off. This question becomes irrelevant. Okay. So it is the same question which we answered in the first. That is, if it is falling under the advancement of general public utility, then I will not see the utilization. I will only check whether the 30 lakhs is within 20%. Then I will see the utilization. Otherwise, I will tax it or it loses the exemption. Where if it is falling under relief of the poor, okay, then I will only see the application. I will not see what is the business reserve. So 85% if it is applied, it is over. So write the same answer. Write the same answer like first. Jyoti Educational Center. It's a good question. Okay. A charitable institution registered under Section 12AA runs schools for primary and secondary education. The following particulars is for the previous year, amount in lakhs. Okay. Gross receipt from students for admission, tuition fees, development. Okay. 152.75 lakhs. 152.75 lakhs. Will it fall under 1023C, Lalita? Will this fall under 1023C?
Sir, 1 second. Sir. It's more than 100 lakhs.
நான் கேட்ட கேள்விக்கு நீ ஒரு பதில் சொல்லணும்னா நீயா ஒரு கேள்வி எவ்வளவு ரிசிப்ட் மோர் தென் 100 lakhs ஆனா நீ சொன்ன பதில் கரெக்ட். நான் கேட்டது என்ன? Will it fall under 1023C, Lalita?
No, sir.
No, that's all. Okay. Our friend was asking, what is the 1023C? 1023C does not have all these conditions of utilization, etc. You will get full exemption. You will get 100% exemption even if there are some procedural lapse, etc. Okay, I will do questions and show you. 1023C directly I will take the income as exempt even if they have used only 80%, 75%. They give that benefit to them. Okay, small trust. Okay, revenue expenditure. A sum of 3.5 lakh has been applied to the benefit of the founder of the lines that is missing, which if you can write, of the trust, which is included in 2 above. The things that is missing is 3.5 lakhs has been applied to the founder of the trust, which is included in this, which is included in 2 above. Purchase of computer and lab equipments 21.4, out of which 1.4 is cash expenditure. Donation including anonymous donation. Grant received from state government for acquisition of capital assets. Dividend received from mutual funds, which is exempt under 1023D. The institution has accumulated 20 lakhs under conditional accumulation in the year 1718 for a period of 2 years. So the government gave the commissioner gave the permission only for 2 years for acquiring the plot of land for construction of a new school. Land was purchased for 15 lakhs and the development cost made was 2 lakhs till 1920. Loss brought forward, excess of expenditure over income 35 lakhs. Compute the total income and the tax payable. One of the finest question which has lot of adjustment. Patiently read through once. Okay, shall I? Kanish,
Tell me, sir.
21,40,000 is the computers and lab equipments purchased. How much should I take it as application?
Sir, paid in cash is not allowed, sir.
So
More than
1.4
10,000.
I will deduct. Then remaining 20, can I take it as application?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Kanish. Here is where
Okay.
I bring your ICDS also into picture. Grant received from state government for acquisition of capital assets 7.25 lakhs. They should have specifically said application of computer and lab equipments, but in the suggested answer they said that that is the only asset purchased, so it will not be taken, but they could have given. But remember, if grant is for a depreciable asset, then that should be reduced from the cost of the asset. Simple logic. Government, you did not spend the entire 20 lakhs. 7.25 lakhs is sponsored by the government. So the balance can only be treated as purchase of lab equipment. Having all these things in your mind, let us go slow, but it is a very nice question. Sorry, I should have included dividend in the total receipt. I should have included dividend in the total receipt. I'm very sorry. Can you please try to include it as a line item? Sorry for including that. Then taxation of unutilized amount of conditional accumulation. Taxation of unutilized amount of conditional accumulation. Taxation of unutilized amount of conditional accumulation. Amount allowed to be accumulated for 2 years. Okay, in 1718, I was allowed 20 lakhs to be accumulated. Less amount actually spent in 2 years, that is 1819 and 1920. So with this year it is over. 15 plus 2, 17. So the reversal will be 3 lakhs. The reversal will be 3 lakhs. The unutilized amount will become taxable. Income before setting off losses. Yes, loss brought forward. Less loss brought forward. Twenty-one lakh 89,000.
Sir, the conditional accumulation, anyway, it can be carried for 5 years, no, sir?
No,
So,
sir. I want to be clear. Maximum 5 years does not mean you can keep carrying forward. Commissioner will say within what time. Commissioner is the time limit of 5 years, not for you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Friends, uh, I will first work out taxation. You understand it, then you can copy it. First, understand it. I hope up to 2189. If you want me to scroll up, I will. Understand it, later you can take it. Okay. Total donation. I have received a total donation of 10 lakh. I'll work out in absolute value. 10 lakh 50,000. Anonymous donation. Out of that comes to 2 lakh 50,000. Out of that comes to 2 lakh 50,000. 5% of total donation. 5% of total donation is 52,500 or okay, maximum limit 1 lakh. Whichever is higher is taxable at normal rates. So the whichever is higher amongst these two is taxable at maximum rate. Anonymous donation taxable at 115 BBC is 2,50,000 minus 1 lakh. Repeating, out of my total donation, 5% of my donation or rupees 1 lakh, whichever is higher, can be anonymous. That will be taxable at normal rates. Remaining anonymous donation is only taxable at special. Wait till I complete so that you are very clear. Okay. Total income taxable at normal rates will be, my dear friends, you can see that 21 lakh 89,000, 29 lakh, ஏன்னா இந்த இடம் ரொம்ப கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும். 29 lakh 89,000 plus this 1 lakh plus this 1 lakh, because sometimes in examination tension we forget to add this 1 lakh. This is taxable at normal rates. Okay, on which you know how to work out the tax. Anonymous donation at 30%, nothing but 1,50,000. Please take it down step by step in a manner you will understand it. Write the notes and keep. May I? Anybody still doing?
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Yeah, take your time.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, friend.
Sir, if I consider the grant as not for depreciable purpose, so if that case now I have to include this as cross receipts and again reduce 15%, right?
Yes, sir. But எங்க ப்ராப்ளம் வரும்னா இங்க வந்துரும் சார். அப்பனா the grant is for land தானே. அப்ப you will not take 17 இல்லையா?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Friends, unfortunately, you have to also work out an alternative answer. I will work out and show you. Okay. But in exam, you are supposed to. Okay. Alternative answer. Please take your time in understanding this. There are some people, I will tell you my opinion also. Institute is not giving its final, it is just prolonging, saying it's an alternative answer. There are some people who claim it like this. Understand this case. 21,89,000 is my income computed, plus they say it is 1 lakh into 85%. The contention of them is 15% should be given for anonymous donation taxable at normal rates. The contention they are making is 15% set apart, because this is taxable at normal rates. It should also be provided here, and only 85% should be taxed, and the tax will reduce by the small quantum. I am not in agreement with that. One thing they have, the people who are arguing like that is forgetting is, it is taxable at normal rate inform பண்றது 115 BBC. Up to 1 lakh or 5% is taxable at normal rate is not in section 11. That is also in 115 BBC. If it enters 115 BBC, deductions or exemptions cannot be claimed. The intention of the lawmaker is to take out anonymous donation from the main computation, which they have done. You have not included. Had you included 1 lakh here, Here itself I make the computation 5%, etc. No, this computation we are correct, which everybody is right. Okay. While computing for tax alone, they make an alternative answer saying 85% of the anonymous donation, which is taxable at normal rates, is only to be included in the total income and not the entire 100%. Our institute calls this as alternative answer. This is the main answer, whatever we have well read. Okay, they write a small note. As a student, namak in the 6 or 8 marks, whatever it is a cakewalk. Okay, trust. Okay, we shouldn't make a mistake. So we will write that alternate answer also. In the practical world, you can have your interpretation. Please write it in a manner you will understand. So all the questions where anonymous donation we are going to work out, we will have an alternate answer also, friends. Okay. Hopefully on Monday morning, we will complete the chapter of charitable trust. Thank you, friends. All the very best.